Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 between Zenith and First Departure. If you weren't here for game number 1 or the entirety of game number 1, we don't blame you because that was a huge, long drawn out but extremely entertaining game, especially towards the latter half of it. Zenith now up 1 game in this best of 3 series. This is the G1 League phase number 2, and whoever loses this match, this best of 3 match, they are completely out. Zenith looking pretty good so far. First Departure has got to win 2 games in a row. This is a Beyond the Summit presentation. I am Luminous, and of course Goddess is alongside. It's late, but we are very hyped up after that game 1 finish.
Yeah, it's late, but that's not going to stop us casting these fantastic SEA Dota games. Last game, very uncharacteristic. It was low kills, much more farm heavy than we're used to with these Southeast Asian teams, and it's like you said, it felt more like we're watching LGD China versus Tong Fu, but when the last 20-30 minutes, it sure heated up, and we'll have to look to see how First Departure look to bounce back here in game number 2. I have a feeling they look to go to their old faithful anti-mage, but we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be what they want to go for.
Yeah, and of course, a little bit of shout out to the match that's going to follow this up. Speaking of Tong Fu, we're going to have Tong Fu versus Neo-Lucian Thailand. And I do believe Gods will not be casting that one. That's going to be LD and myself. He's lifting at the gym right now, and I think he'll be back. But one thing to talk about right now, back to this game, is that Magnus is first picked up. And you talked about our Magnus player from last game. Very comfortable on that player, on that hero. And he definitely showed that he could farm it up. Maybe should be spending those gold a little bit more liberally, though.
Well, Rubik immediately picked up, and we saw Ice last game still RP countless times, something which by the end just looked like a routine play for him, not even worth hyping up, but boy did he have a big impact on that last game's result. And Tinker as well, something Zenith like to run here and there, and it does give him a lot of strong split pushing power, and it's a hero which, once again, can make the game go 60+ minutes if we're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, if there's Cypher Vice available, right, he's going to basically multiply those Cypher Vice whenever he rearms it. So I don't imagine the game will go that long, especially when we don't have a very late game hero pickup just yet. But there's a possibility of doing so. Keeper of Light's being banned out here. We didn't see Zenith being banning out that particular hero last time. So we might see a little bit more aggressive trialing coming out from Zenith. You cannot aggressive trialing against a Keeper. And by banning out so early, and especially when they didn't ban it out game number 1, it could be a consideration. Yeah,
definitely a possibility here. We'll have to see what they get with their third pick. Then we'll know more. First Departure now. They've got the Mag. Last game it was the Shadow Demon with the second pick. You've got to imagine they go once again for the Shadow Demon +1. It's just a matter of what's going to be that third pick. They want that strong support. Shadow Demon is pretty much the go-to support. Last game it was Mag, and Mag, Shadow Demon, Lina with their first 3. So they can get Shadow Demon, Lina here. But if they want to get... Basically, if they want to choose what carry hero they're getting right off the bat, they have to pick it now. Because last game round, it was bans onto 4 or 5 carry heroes in the second ban stage after First Departure didn't grab their carry in the first 3 picks.
Actually, a quick question here to Zenith is, how do they usually play their Tinker? Is it going to be the standard kind of work towards your Cypher Vice after getting a Breach of Travel? Or do they go kind of Blink Dagger Dagon style?
It's always, I'd say without a doubt, Blink Dagger. The question is, do you go Dagon or Cypher Vice after? And I think it depends a bit on how the game
Gods,
progresses.
I'm gonna give you a quick call back because you're sounding very robotic, so
No
here we go. I do apologize for that little bit of mishap. Are we good, Gods?
I hope so.
All right.
How's it sounding now?
All right, you sound good. So Blink Dagger, but not sure if it's gonna be Scythe follow-up or Dagon follow-up.
Yeah, Zenith like their Dagon more than other teams, but if it's the game calls for it, they will go for the Scythe of Vice. And against, well, if they're playing heavy split push and not really team fighting, then they'll maybe go for the Dagon build. But otherwise, if they're looking to maybe prioritize more team fight, then they go for the Scythe of Vice. And against Mag Darks here, well, you don't really want a team fight, so maybe we look more towards that Dagon build.
Yeah, I mean, last game we saw that First Departure has no problem playing, 5-man Dota or 4-man Dota as the Morphling is on his own doing his thing. And I guess Dagon may not be too good against that playstyle either, because if you do see them, you really want the crowd control that a Scythe gives you, because you do actually Scythe up the Magnus or the Darkseer. Dagon is actually decent against the Shadow Demon, but maybe not so good against the Darkseer, especially when he gives his team mech or pipe. But Clockwork's going to be the pickup here for Zenith, and I think we're going to be looking at a little bit more global pressure here. Tinker's a global hero, Clockwork is a great global hero, and maybe even a Wisp CK to follow up, but I think I'm just getting ahead of myself. The way that Zenith likes to play their Invoker is also very global, so we might see a return of Invoker as well.
Yeah, I think Invoker could fit in once again if they want to. depending on how and where they want to lane the Tinker. But you can send the Tinker to the safe lane with the Invoker.
Gods. You could send the Tinker safe lane, and then what? And then what, Gods? Are you back, Gods? No. No, Gods. Don't leave us. Well, we'll get him back. I don't even know what he was saying, but that anti-mage being banned out here, of course, respecting the power of first departure's anti-mage player. But for now, we're in the second draft of the ban here, being a lot of carries banned out here for Zenith. Luna is not available, Lifestealer is not available, and neither is Shadow Fiend. So obviously Zenith still needs that one of those carry, but still a lot of option available. I mean, if you could go late game carry with a Mirana, you could go late game carry with just about any other agility / strength hero. So we'll see what Zenith opts for. I still think it's going to be Invoker coming out from Zenith, but we'll see. We'll see. First departure shown that they don't mind going late game as well. Although, in my opinion, the late game decision has been a little bit shaky. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. If they want to offer late game, anti-mage is no longer in the pool, as well as a lot of the other late game heroes that they banned out. So let's see if they're going to go back and opt for a Morphling themselves. No, it's going to be a Gyrocopter, so something that we haven't seen too much of the Southeast Asian scene, but it's definitely trickling through from the popularity that we see from North America as well as European Dota. Of course, Gyrocopter, a very, very powerful trialing hero as well. And of course, there's also quite a bit of synergy between Shadow Demon and Gyrocopter. You drop a rocket on them, you disrupt, and by the time the disruption finishes, the rocket will hit. You walk up here with your rocket barrages and whatnot. And of course, Soul Catcher is going to be on top to do a ton of damage. Also, Clockwork Cogs might actually be worked against Zenith, because when the cogs are in place, there's a lot of stuff in the way. You can't get to the Gyrocopter, but you could be damn sure that Gyrocopter Flat Cannon will get to you with that 1000 cast range. Of course, Empower on top of Gyro also does quite a bit of work, as well as the Vacuum. So I feel like this is a very natural pickup for the Radiant team, and it's going to work out quite well for them. Zenith going to go back to them. If they do want to go into the Sunstrike Invoker build, it's going to be very good against the Gyrocopter, especially pre-BKB. But again, Zenith also, it feels like they don't really need a quote-unquote late game hero, because they're fine doing a 3 semi-carry. Tinker is a great late game hero because of how his items work when you refresh everything, especially when you have Blink Dagger Cypher, Blink Dagger Dagon. We kind of talked about that earlier. And, well, LD's back, and hopefully we'll get Gods back very, very soon. Sven is going to be the pickup here. And wow, I haven't seen that hero for a long time. And we're not even sure whether it's going to be a support or carry Sven. Support Sven is not really a thing. You could try at home. It could work sometimes, but most of the time it doesn't really work. But I mean, last time we had a Timbersaw, didn't really do anything throughout the game. So Sven might be pretty good, especially the Warcry giving plus 16 armor. That's going to be very, very helpful to the Gyrocopters.
There's a Wisp. There's Nature's Prophet.
Are you looking the global that I'm seeing as well? I mean, Wisp, Sven, Rubik, that's a trialing. But we'll see if that's going to be the case. Sand King's going to be the last pick here, and that's going to give him the big AoE Wombo combo. I mean, you have Vacuum, you have Wall, you have Epicenter, you have a Magnus ult on top, Call Down even, and of course Flat Cannon to really round things out for any survivors that might be limping away. And Zenith looking to spread the map open. I feel like First Departure in their first game really like to take those team fights, and Zenith really good at avoiding them, especially when you have heroes like Tinker and Clockwork. You don't even need to be there, so I think Zenith, in my opinion, a little bit better, a little bit stronger, coming out ahead in this draft, and Dragon Knight is going to be the last pickup here. So 3 semi-carries coming from the Tinker, maybe from the Clockwork, although he's getting, well, actually it's Ice playing the Clockwork, so we might actually see that offensive trialing. And this is going to be a very awkward trialing coming out from a Sven, Dragon Knight, and Rubik. Doesn't necessarily have the longest range, but has a lot of frontline tanking, and a lot of initiation and nuking power. So, Gots, it's going to be back with us in 1 to 2 minutes if you guys cannot survive with this voice. But yes, the draft is done, and in my opinion, I feel like Radiant's got definitely the stronger draft. Of course, the first 10 to 15 minutes going to have really a big impact in these games. Generally, Wombo combo lineups here are good once you get past level 6, level 7, but it will take them a long, long time to get really to that point. And for now, Gyrocopter is going to be played by FD. Well, actually, they're all FD. Gyrocopter is going to be played by Mirko. Very, very weird way to do it, to have your name tag in front and then your clan tag on the bottom behind you.
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate is the word to actually call out. But Miracle will be playing the Gyrocopter here. We have Hannah playing the Darkseer. Lubby on the Sanking. We have, is that Pelosin? Pelosin playing on the Magnus, and Endlessly on the Shadow Demon. Me on the dire side, Ice is going to be going on the long lane on the Clockwork. We have Yamate playing the Dragon Knight, going mid here. Wow, okay, so definitely played the Trialing carry last game. This game going for a bot rush on a solo mid CK or DK. Ice going to be playing the Rubik once again. Had a sensational game last time. Hopefully he will mirror that performance this game as well. XY will be playing that Tinker. And last but not least, we have Freedom on that Sven. So Tri-Lane Tinker is something that we haven't seen too often. It's definitely been done in the past. It's so very difficult to dive this Tinker because of Margin Machine. And they're going to be playing against an offensive Tri-Lane, I think, although Darkseer is already getting position, so it might not be offensive Tri-Lane. Maybe these two are just dropping a ward up top. We saw a ward drop in this position last game. It could be a very similar spot, because if your Tri-Lane is going to be on the bot, you really can't protect your solo mid, as the enemy Tri-Lane is going to be making a big gank tap down the middle. So dropping this ward will actually, see that path coming in from this particular angle. So that's going to be nice. Yeah, it's going to be offensive Tri-Lane versus a Darkseer, and or defensive Tri-Lane against a Darkseer, and similarly for the Radiant side, it's going to be most likely a defensive Tri-Lane against a Clockwork there as well. Clockwork should be using his power cogs to basically slow down the equilibrium, and most likely Darkseer, once he notices that he cannot get too much EXP and go, he's going to fall back in the jungle and try to get some farm there. Is God's back? And looks like God is alive and joining back. You didn't miss so much, Gods. The draft concluded. The heroes is what you see on the map. And who do you like to draft so far?
Well, first departure, very standard. But once again, Zenith pulled some big surprises here. We're going to see a DK pick as well as a Sven pick. So two unusual picks, a support Sven and a solo mid DK. I think all in all, first departure of the much more standard draft. It'll be interesting to see how Gyrocopter fits in. But I think Zenith, they definitely have some potential firepower. I love the DK pick. It's one of my favorite heroes to watch.
Yeah, I felt like the Sven pickup was remaking AP for the Chinese casters. I was so tempting to pause for them. I was trying to have an in-game impact, but yeah, actually the Sven pickup was a response to the Gyrocopter. Flat Cannon is definitely a very respectable physical damaging spell, and Sven's one of the few supports that could actually matter quite a bit by giving your entire team plus 16 armor, which is insane if you think about it. Looks like somebody thought they had the in-game advantage already, which Magnus does actually have 4 CS, so he's doing quite alright. So they're not going to do that remake, so screw them, Chinese casters.
Yeah, I think the one lane which isn't going as well as first part would like is bottom. The 1v1 matchup between the Gyro and the Clockwork. The lane got pushed out really far, and Clockwork getting some decent-ish XP and farm under the tower. Gyrocopter not really doing a whole lot as far as keeping this lane equilibrium.
Ooh, there's a burrow. Oh, the Stormhammer actually hit 2 hit brew, but a nice blocking coming out from Hannah, trying to get that kill, and one more hit was all they needed, but the Marching Machine really discouraging from that gank, and because that gank didn't work out, you talked about the creep equilibrium being pushed in, a lot of EXP being gained by this Clockwork, and again, Sand King, what is he going to do at level 1? Well, nothing, because he's not really going to get that gank off, especially against a tanky hero like Dragon Knight on the mid lane. So I feel like the Radiant doesn't really have a good fallback plan, and they have already gave up a lot of advantages early on.
Yeah, this offensive trial, and sure, they almost got the first blood and things are looking okay from the start, but it's going to get really hard and start for farm when you're looking at Sand King, who's yet to pick up a single point in experience. And like you said, where does he go from here? Does he go bottom lane and start using some pulls here? They've actually been blocked off, so he'd have to de-ward, which he can do. He's got a Sentry to do so, but there's really very little openings around this map.
Yeah, and my question is, with the 2 solo mid heroes trading for him, we know where Magnus is going to go. He's going to go for the Arcane Blink, very standard build, but what is Yamate going to go? Is he going to go for that Pinoy build? He's already doing the bottle crawling part, which is, very standard in this today's metagame, but is he going to go for that Shadow Blade? Shadow Blade, and especially maxing your Dragon Tail very early on, and basically use them as a farmer all over the map, and if he finds, support heroes by themselves, he can go for them basically free pickoff, because you do a ton of damage breaking out that invisibility with a Shadow Blade, and of course that Dragon Tail is a very long duration stun as well.
Yeah, top lane is first departure Pokemon. Not funny. I think Shadow Blade is a great item to get on DK. The damage you get, the attack speed you get is great on its own, and then you combine that with the initiation you get. You pop your ulti, your Shadow Blade in, and it's so easy to get a free setup and a kill. It's a really nice way to play this. And actually, mid lane, Yamate almost going to do enough damage to get a kill here on Magnus. It's actually Mag who's going to turn things around. Skewer Shockwave. First blood. DK goes down, and this same story as last game. Pelosin getting first blood at mid lane.
He's so good at just, you know, snipe pickoffs. You don't expect him to actually go for the kill, but he definitely can with a Shockwave, a ton of damage output. Skewer definitely do a decent amount of damage, 140 at level 2. Not something that DK expected, and he's going to pay for it. Pelosin getting first blood 2 games in a row. I mean, you said he was very comfortable in this hero, and he definitely showcased it there.
Yeah, his ability to deal with these 1v1 matchups and win them is really impressive here. As we are going to see the rotation now. Shadow Demon Sanking, they're heading bottom. But they're going to be disappointed once they quickly realize, A, they can't pull, and B, they're going to get spotted by Observer Wards. There's no chance of really getting a successful gank here on the Clockwork if Ice plays this right.
Yeah, I really feel like the Radiant team gave away way too much. He's going to go for the pull, and I think he even mistimed it. So let's see if Lubby's going to get the successful stack off. And, well, he did. So good job for him doing that. Invis gets picked up. That is picked up under the guise of a Observer Ward. So I don't think they will really get off any successful ganks on top of that. Dragon Knight bottling up with Cluckles, a Brave. Awesome courier. And
Needs to be careful. Ice is he's playing so far up this bottom lane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if he dies, he deserved that death, right? Because he's sticking down there with basically 100 health, I think. Is he going to survive? Stout Shield. Not doing the work, man. Unlucky.
Shadow Demon down to 60 HP as well. Holy crap.
He should just suicide to the neutrals. But no, he's going to get salved up.
Okay, that works as well. I think, but that's the support's needed that really badly because they're under leveled right now, and that's XP going their way. XP they didn't have to share with the gyrocopter, so they split it between the two of them, get themselves some XP, and that kill shouldn't happen. I mean, for one thing, Ice was playing so low, and another thing, he should have seen that Invis rune getting picked up by the Observer Ward.
Yeah, I really think. I mean, I think that he expected the gank to go mid because definitely Yamate is the bigger price here. So, and especially he was between his tier 3 and tier 2 tower. He thought it was safe, and you're not safe from that Invis Shadow Demon. But even despite giving that def up, it's completely fine. I mean, he got so much this lane. Although he might pay for it. Unfortunately, though, the cogs are so OP at burning mana, and Gyrocopter's got nothing here. What is Gyrocopter actually going for with that Sage's mask? Is he going to go for that Ring of Aquila?
Yeah, Ring of Aquila, we could see something a bit abnormal, like a Soul Ring. It wouldn't be absolutely terrible considering all the mana burn going on with the cogs here. If he wants mana to use these spells, they're actually going to be Initiation coming bottom, Disruption to lead things off. Gyrocopter, all he can do is right-click. He's got no mana for a Rocket Barrage. He's not even going to go in. Sanking and Shadow Demon, they're just dealing with Ice on the right. I think he could have almost got a kill if he came for that. Maybe not quite enough.
Well, the two men. What is that? Oh my goodness.
That pushback.
That pushback is so OP. Like, you could actually walk between the two cog and directly walk out. You still get pushback. It is actually insane. And you're right. He was easily able to get that kill.
Cogs OP, pushback OP, Clockwork OP, man.
Man. Actually, he's already...
Is this going to be a kill? He's got hookshot. He could look to kill.
I think he will get the kill. Rocket hookshot. This off-lane Clockwork, it's doing way too much. He's level 7, 6 minutes in. He's out-leveling the solo mids. Like, what the hell is going on right now? Miwa up on the top lane here. Hannah's doing his thing as the Darkseer. Thanks to his 2 trialing support, he was able to get some EXP, but here comes Pelosin trying to stop the gang. But look at these Observer Wards. They just know. And of course, the Dire team will just back off accordingly.
Yeah, no chance. And this is just disaster for first departure, what's happened at bottom lane. Ice should not be getting these kills. He hasn't even got... I mean, I like this build. I think this is the right build to go. You don't need that Battery Assault. Having max cogs, 200 mana and health drain at level 4. That is ridiculous against these low mana heroes. Heroes like Sanking, if he gets hit by that, GG for Sanking. Gyrocopter, that hurts him pretty damn hard as well. So it's a fantastic build to go for. I imagine we may see a point in Battery Assault picked up now that he's hit level 8, but hey, he can just keep maxing rockets. I don't think the Battery Assault actually adds a whole lot.
I really think on the next patch, they gotta do something about this cog. Maybe lower the AoE, or maybe lower the mana drain damage being dealt, or maybe just say that if you're getting hit by the cogs once, you can't get hit by a second time. Because he basically did 400 damage and mana drain to that Sand that poor Sand King, level 3 or something like that, and he just got owned.
And it pushed him back so far, like right into his tower from such a long distance away. That was what was really incredible. And then once he's under tower, he's got no mana to use Sandstorm. I mean, he's level 1, so he hasn't got Sandstorm. But even if he's level 3, level 4 there, he still goes down.
Oh, he was still level 1. I thought he at least hit 2 or 3, man. He's got nothing accomplished there. Meanwhile, let's actually check out how we're doing in terms of the goal graph. 750 goal lead for the Radiant side. Gods, make sure that your audio is good to go.
In game.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. But let's check out the go graph here. Radiant is down by 750 go as expected to those kills not going their way, and Clockwork getting those very, very lucky kills. Looks like we're gonna have a big range of disconnects. EXP though, big in the big leads because Clockwork was able to get solo kills against the tri lane twice. So things are not going well here for the Radiant team, and that's kind of what we predicted during the draft stage, is that when you pick this kind of big wombo combo lineup, sure, it's great 40 minutes in the game when you have Blink Daggers and all these teamfight capabilities. Your laning kind of sucks. And right now, Zenith really take advantage of that. That's giving XY a lot of time to go for his boots travel. He is just a naked boots rush straight into BOT. He's going to have it 8 minutes in if he doesn't die. And can you imagine he's just teleporting and mass farming in every single lane with the martial machines? It's not going to be good here for FD.
This looks scary. It really looks like a bad position. The big difference is the XP. You've got a Sanking who's still level 1. You've got, well, the Dire Sight Clockwork with a ton of experience in that offlane. Darksy's doing not bad at top lane. He's level 4, getting close to that level 5 mark, but considering how great a game Clockwork's had right now, hitting level 8, up to 850 gold, we'll see the Arcane Boots, I imagine, picked up by Ice in just a couple hundred. This is really dire straits for the Armageddon first departure side. Magnus is going to have to make some big plays right now.
And he's definitely shown that he's capable to make those big plays. But unfortunately, like we reminded you that he was walking here detected by Observer. He thinks he's safe. He thinks he's going to set up a big RP, but you can see the rotation already coming in. X-Freedom already here waiting alongside Yamate coming in with Dragonite. He's got those Dragon 4, unfortunately, is not available. So that stun is not really impressive.
He's got a haste, though.
He's got a haste, so that stun becomes something very impressive.
Yeah, and the Dragon Tail is what you want to set things up, but this is most likely at least a dead Darkseid. Maybe Mag. I guess Mag is going to wait and try to go for a counter RP, but I don't see them winning. This is essentially a 2v4 at top lane. There's no way that this works out well for first departure, and there's not really any heroes. The two supports are in no position to provide backup. Sankey, I mean, he's got a TP, but at this point, Sankey's like, oh my god, I got this mid lane all to myself. Let's try and get level 2.
Yeah, well, he's gonna definitely hit level 2, maybe even level 3 because he's so low EXP. But since we do have that long break, let's quickly talk about what you missed so far. You missed an intense game number 1. You could catch that VOD on Beyond the Summit on Twitch TV. And of course, this is a best of 3 series with Zenith up 1 game. And also, what's coming up next, although that's going to be in a couple hours, I imagine, is going to be Tongfu versus Neolution Thailand. So Chinese versus Southern East Asian. I think a lot of us will be favoring Tongfu as they're definitely the more known team. But Gods, what can you tell us about Neolution Thailand?
Well, they're a strong team. They were doing really well in Dota 1 towards the end of sort of the Dota 1 era in Southeast Asia. They were causing a lot of upsets and even going toe-to-toe with Myth Trust. So they're definitely a strong upcoming team. But Tongfu is, well, one tough egg to crack. So I think they're going to really struggle a bit there up against Tongfu. But you never know. Neolution International put up a great fight yesterday against LGD International. So it'd be great to see the other Neolution team, the Thai team, do well as here tonight.
Yeah, these Chinese teams are definitely not invincible as, I mean, they're looking pretty weak as well as, I mean, how many of us actually seen Tongfu play and play in the top level? We know they're training against the other Chinese teams, but we really don't know what exactly is going on. So that should be a very exciting series to watch out for. LD and myself will be casting that one, I believe, and that's going to be coming up in just a bit. But for now, we're back into this particular game, and what we're waiting for our Sanking player to connect back. I think Lubby just threw his hands in the air and said, you know what, forget this game. Just send me the fountain. You could get your free gold. It's like that CM that takes Aura 1 and just leaves. Probably do more.
Does buy courier.
Yeah, he bought his courier. He probably upgraded too.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, I'm gonna have to reconnect as well. It looks like I think I'm still having some Dota TV audio issues, but a quick restart should try and fix that.
Well, you will have all the time in the world. Hopefully that our viewers are doing well. I think let's do the shout out where you're from game. I think a lot of the people watching is from Singapore and Thailand, as well as from Malaysia as well. And of course, them Australians, because they're always awake whenever we're awake.
They're also just a lot more vocal. I remember when we had the chain stack playing and like all the Australians are going right into it when it's just one Australian player. Everyone's like, yeah, go Australia.
But that one Australian player played good games.
Yeah.
He was doing quite well, so.
Alright, I'm having connecting to Dota 2 issue. That's not good. Don't do this to me, Valve.
I'm pretty sure Sanking is having that exact same issue, so.
That's actually a good point.
Connection problems in Singapore? So what would happen if Sanking does not actually connect back in? Remake?
Well, apparently it was a blue screen of death. I don't think there's actually a remake. I mean, it should be able to connect back in. I don't think we'd see a full remake, but I'm not sure what the rules are. Our lovely Chinese admins / overlords probably have a solution in mind.
If you load games from replays, which is probably the worst thing possible. I mean, I know this is like...
There's been so many replay load bugs.
Like, yeah, it's
absolutely hilarious.
Like the clock in the game goes wrong. Like, it's nighttime now, but you load back in, it's daytime. Yeah. But we're 6 minutes in, so Night Stalker would get very, very sad. Like, for example, you see these neutrals being pulled right now. They would just sit there. They won't even go back to the camp. So... At one time where we had a low in the middle of a match, and I was in the middle of a pull in this particular junction of the map, and those neutrals stay there for like 10 minutes, and as supports, I couldn't even roam past because there was 2 alpha wolves that was just killing me all day. The runes, they like spawned awkwardly, like doesn't even spawn in the even minute mark.
So gets messed up too.
I don't know what happens with Roche, but let's hope to God that there is no loading from replay. I know this is like a first world complaint, but because back in Dota 1, if you drop, like, you're done, right? That's it.
Well, if you have a save, you can reload.
You can save from reload, but the replays is gone, so...
Yeah, that was always the big issue there.
Right, so we're this is the first world problem that we're complaining to, but there's definitely a lot of room for improvement for Valve to look back to.
Well, speaking of first world problems, I was going out to lunch earlier with Kevin, and we both had on our green tide.
I heard that one, yeah.
It was, like, I came downstairs, I looked at him, he looked at me, he's like, you've got to change. And I'm like, yep, I've got to change. I went back upstairs.
So why was it decided that you got to change and not him?
Well, he was wearing his first apparently, and I wasn't going to put up a fight. I did not want to be seen in public wearing the same shirt as Kevin. It would definitely look kind of weird.
I mean, the story went down is that you got told, but you didn't even put up a fight. So
I wasn't putting up a fight. There was a mutual consent that I was going to. I was happy with it. I wasn't going to put up a fight.
Yeah, you should have been like, no, I put up the shirt first, you know?
No, it's alright.
That sounds like a cat fight, too. I mean, like, I thought, like,
it's a very polite conversation.
No, I thought if it's, like, 2 guys that wears the same shirt, it's like, oh, nice shirt. Good shirt you're wearing there. But that sounded like 2 girls wearing the same shirt or the same dress in a party, and suddenly shit gets real, so... That's what it sounded like to me on Twitter.
Wow. I don't know. I beg to differ. That's not how shit went down, okay?
Man,
I still got my balls intact.
Real shit gets down on BTS every day, including T-shirt needs to be changed. All right, looks like we do have a reconnect. Hopefully, the viewers at home are still with us. Hopefully, you made a sandwich in between. Nope, we're gonna wait for more WC and disconnect. Yes.
Well, hopefully it's all good. Who's that? Sanking once again. That sucks. I imagine sometimes when you initially reconnect, you have some like bugs and whatnot where you have to reconnect once more, but he's probably... Oh, he crashed again. Never mind. That's unfortunate.
Well, rock, paper, scissors, go.
Paper.
Let's see how many people will play this. Wait. Ice wants to play this. Oh, apparently not. He's still not in.
I think he thought you were unpausing. You've confused him.
How do you spell scissor? I can't spell scissor.
SCISSOR.
Alright, yeah. I got that on the lockdown. I couldn't spell scissor for the longest time because that Pokemon named Scizor spelled it with Z, so I spell scissors with Z's, and apparently that's wrong. How did you... Well, you got him good.
I almost had him. It was close. Close game.
Alright. Is Lubby back? WC done. Mud Golems look cute. Those Mud Golem looks like they have Down syndromes. I'm sorry, I have to say that.
Really?
I love Mud Golems.
They look pretty dumb.
And Mud Golems are my favorite neutral group. I don't get all the hate on them.
Alright, that's the team fight that we're waiting for. The RP is gonna get juked out. Well, There's a fire breath. There's a... Oh, no, he didn't actually... Oh, he did stun the right one. I thought he was going to go on the dark side, but the shockwave's going to get one kill at the very least. Trying to bottle through, but Yamate with a haste rune, it's going to clean through. So very nicely done here by Yamate. Getting 2 kills of worth of EXP. Now we'll haste it back to the mid lane. Not missing a single beat. Meanwhile, Sanking hits level 3. So he's like, yeah. Finally getting the big bucks here back in the mid lane.
Just be careful. DK's back and immediate flame breath onto Sanking. There goes half your HP. Lubby.
Lubby says, MP. MP gonna hit that level 3. I'm gonna farm it back up with this stacked neutral cap.
Well, Arcane Boots on DK. He's actually going to get caught out at mid lane. Here comes Mag. There's no RP. I think he should be okay. Level 1 Burrow Strike. Is there actually enough damage? Skewer back. There's another TP. It's Darkseid. This is the end of Yamate.
Body block coming up here. Yamate. Oh no, the cogs, the OP cogs are coming back in the bottle from Yamate. And you can see that, oh, Magnus is so confused. He's technical dance here. Oh no, the Clockwork also misses hooked. Uh-oh, here comes the Stormhammer. That would not miss. Fable, they're going to get that kill. And push back here. Look at the damage output, my god. Rocket?
It's stuck.
No Rocket cooling down. He's going to fire one off, I imagine.
You know, I think Mag had the right idea of dealing with cogs. You just sit inside the cogs and wait for them to expire. Because if you try to walk out of them, you get hit for like 400 damage or something. It's just ridiculous. You just have to sit there and wait.
Yeah, you actually do. It's actually pretty much insane. Meanwhile, Yamate shows off a Dragon Tail to a creep, which is a very hipster thing to do. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, Ice. Here we go. Uh-oh. He's trying so hard to dodge those cogs, and he did. Man, Cogs, best spell in the game.
Well, Ice is out of HP, out of mana. He may get pushed out. He's actually picked up a Bellow Giant's Ring, so we're not going to be seeing the fast Arcane Boots from him. And, well, Tinker, he's decided he'd like to show up to some of these fights. Bottle Boots of Travel, probably see the Soaring next, and XY, well, some very, very fast Boots of Travel up on his Tinker.
Got to make sure that your Dota TV is back on again. I think every time you do reconnect, you have to fix that one. Tinker, yeah, like you said, Boots of Travel back up, and obviously he's still a couple items away from starting to go for those big items. He wants his Soul Rings. Maybe we do see some Tinker even go for a no talisman just for that little bit extra mana. But with the Soul Ring, he should be mostly fine, and he will get it very quickly because of Boots of Travel. So Tinker is back on that farm train, and it's going to be so very difficult to really push lanes as well here if that's what the Radiant team has in mind. Because Marching Machine is basically impossible. Back in the middle lane though, Disruption opening, Soul Catcher gonna miss the second time. They see the TP in, and they will back off immediately. They cannot take the fight, especially knowing that Clockwork's the person to TP in. Clock, hookshot coming in here against Lubby. They will cog him back in. You really want to push him back out. A second TP comes in from the Radiant side this time. Gyrocopter will force the Dire team to disengage.
Looked like he was going for the push with the cog there. Unfortunately, he just trapped Sanking, and Sanking easily gets out of that one. So Zenith, couple TP rotations, but it's also Miracle on that Gyrocopter TPing in as well. So both teams wasting a bit of time, and I think all said and done, that works out pretty well for Zenith. They have freedom, getting some farm and XP at top lane. Tinker, well, he's always just TPing all over the map and finding farm and XP. So I think Zenith's still with a slight edge as far as this game goes.
I think they actually have a pretty big edge. Again, for this kind of big team fight lineup, you look for those level 6s, very, very much so. And for Darkstar, you look for level 8 and 9 included. I mean, the Blink Dagger timing is not exactly too fast here for the Magnus in the mid lane as well. So, going for all things considered, I think Zenith in a very, very decent lead. At this point, Clockwork is single-handedly the best team fight hero in the game, and I don't think that should be the case.
Yeah, I think it really should be a lot closer, but right now, well, Zenith, we'll see how they go from here. They've got Tinker's Soaring up now. He's also going to hit level 9 soon, but we haven't seen any Ancient stacking. No Ancient stacking yet for the Tinker. I guess they haven't really had a hero in position to do it with the trailing up top. I guess Ice at bottom could have been doing some stacking, but he's been having too much fun spamming those cogs, and, well, he's on the move again, and he's looking to try to find an opening at top lane.
Clockwork teleporting back to the mid lane, perhaps set up a little bit of a gank. There's no Dragon Tail, or let's see, range form Dragon Tail up, but he does have an expiring double damage, still waiting in the wings. I think, of course, the Magnus is going to be a very, very good kill, considering that you know he's working towards this Blink Dagger. But on the same token here, Shadow Demon on the back line. In fact, it's going to be a counter initiation. The hookshot will be coming in, looking for it. He will find him, and suddenly Endlessly will be dropping down for sure. Meanwhile, though, they did get the Sanking kill. It's just get caught by the byproduct of all those AoE. Suddenly, 3 people dead in the mid lane, and that can't be good for those 2 supports, especially. I mean, FD on game number 1, they played the entire game with very, very low level and low farm support. Game 2, it's going to be the exact same case.
Exact same case, except the overall picture's a lot uglier when you haven't got a farm mag, you haven't got a farm morphling, and the opposing team has a hero, Tinker, even DK, especially if you go the Shadow Blade build on DK, you've got heroes who can just find those supports and punish them so easily. Clockwork, another great hero for picking off those supports, as we've seen time and time again so far. That Sand King is just having a really rough time. Only the 2 deaths on him, but he hasn't been involved in a single kill yet for first departure.
Meanwhile, everybody's doing quite well on the Dire. They have the global pretty much up here on Tinker. At this point, he really wants to max his rocket to really start having a big presence. He's actually going back to laser, which it does do a lot more damage against a single target, but overall damage output is higher if you do max rocket. So a little bit curious in terms of why he does max a laser over the rocket.
Yeah, this is a first I've seen XY do this build, but he's going to go into the jungle and probably just look to keep on power leveling so he can get those points in the rocket, but we're not seeing it just yet, so an unusual new build coming out of him, but for first departure, I don't think it matters what build is going. Either way, these supports are going to be squishy food. They're doing some... at this point, it's let's stack creeps for Gyrocopter. This is the old NTH strat. Just stack neutrals all day long and hope that Gyrocopter carries you.
And Gyrocopter, I mean, he's not really that far ahead. I imagine he's going to be going for the Shadow Blade. And he's not even close. He's about 800 away. Speaking of Shadow Blade, Dragon Knight's got his along on top of a Arcane Boots, which is something very, very strange, very, very awkward. But, I mean, the dude definitely needs this mana, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's not bad. It means he can be a lot more liberal about pushing out lanes using Flame Breath. He doesn't have to conserve the mana, because the Shadow Blade also eats through additional mana.
75, so I believe, right?
Yeah, if you go just the normal bottle treads into that, I mean, I guess with treads you can do the tread switching, which is
it still is very taxing, even with tread switching. So
it's nice. It means he can spam lanes a lot more. But right now we're going to see him with that Shadow Blade up, and well, I think at this point he starts looking to gank and then follow up those ganks with tower pushes, because that level 1 Elder Dragon form is good at chipping away at towers as well.
And I mean, Arcane Boost is great for tower pushes. Yeah. After you expended your mana, give it back to your support, and hey. That push will continue. It looks like Darkseid doing a little bit of pulling up top. Look at his safe positioning. Pulling over here and then going back to low ground to make sure he doesn't get ganked. But Sven comes around and says, alright, free creep for me. So, despite for being a support Sven, he's got treads, so that's pretty good at least.
And this is same case as last game. Look at Zenith's farm distribution. The lowest CS on any of their heroes is the 2 supports, both sitting on 31. At 40 minutes in, your 2 supports having 31 creep kills is absolutely massive.
Well, the Shadow Blade doing some work right now, setting up a gank here against... Oh, and a great TP. Hook shot already being used, and Ice not in position to drop off that lift, so very, very nicely done by the Radiant team. It looks like they're going to try to rotate off on the bot lane and try to set up that gank. They will spot out Endlessly. Endlessly will probably going to go down. They have really no detection. There's the dust available, but that's not that good being used defensively. They do trap the Clockwork within this cog, but Stout Shield should block most of that. And here we go. They're going to dive that tower very, very easily. Yep, they're going to initiate on the Sand King. Sand King won't even make it out of that Dragon Tail stun. Look at how effective that Zenith is ganking. And to be honest, I feel like the ganking from Dire has been very awkward. They tried multiple times on the mid lane against Yamate. It just not have really worked out. And they really need that... Uh-oh. Endlessly is also dead. Look at how easy these ganks are again.
Yeah.
They really need that Blink Magnus.
Yeah, Blink not up on Mag yet. Gyrocopter does the smart thing, which is just get the hell out of that bottom lane, and this is going to be a tier 1 tower being picked up by Zenith. They've just got so much long-range damage. The Tinker now with some extra levels in those rockets, getting them up to level 2, and well, there's no real trades happening for first departure. They try to get a few heroes at mid, it's actually Gyrocopter. Caught by the Clockwork. He gets the cogs damage to try and push back Miracle, but doesn't quite place it right, and as a result, Miracle may escape this one.
Yeah, he will, which, again, is a big, big thing, especially you haven't even got your first big item. It's going to be a Black King bar, which he will finish in, 600-700 gold, but when the BKB picks up, what does a Gyro even do for your team fight? He has a call down, which he will definitely have a very easy time landing because all the setup spells, but his physical damage right now is not impressive at all. Empower is not maxed at this point in the game either, so you really can depend on your Magnus. He's basically just flat cannoning with magical immunity, but they could almost even ignore Gyrocopter at this point in the game, which is almost something that you would never hear a caster say.
Yeah, it's absolutely... I mean, he's level 11 even, but with so much survivability on this Dire side, they're looking pretty fine. Tinker now with a Blink Dagger as well. And the thing with Zenith is they don't actually have to fight you in a head-on engagement. You're not going to really get opportunities to use that flat cannon damage on multiple targets, because Zenith will just be chipping at you from afar. And when they do engage on you with a hook shot from Clockwork or something, it's going to be so on their own terms. They're not going to give you a chance for a counter initiation. You're going to already be dead before you can do anything to respond.
Yeah, I mean, Zenith is going to throw everything they can on that Magnus. Tier 1 tower is going to get denied on the top lane. So it's just all of this gold not being earned by the Radiant side. Dire leading by 5k gold. Here's a level 2 dragon form. That's a big part of that quote-unquote Pino DK build. Really basically farm all over the map. The Shadow Blade keeps you safe. And of course, the fast farming coming from the range form of level 2 is going to be big as well. Again, that Arcane Boots is still kind of mind-boggling, but again, makes a lot of sense as they're pushing tier 1 tower to up top, forcing out Glyph.
Oh, look at Ice's position. He finds the Shadow Demon here on the side. Another push with the cogs. I guess damage and mana loss, but I think he would have been better off maybe just going for a trapping. Here comes the call on the BKB Gyrocopter. He may actually find himself some kills here. Freedom on the front lines gets brought down, and it is going to be 1 kill. They lose the Shadow Demon, but he was going down anyways. Ice taking up the tower. It looks like he's dead. Cog's not going to be enough here. It does a bit of damage and harass, but it's 3 down on the Zenith side. A bit of an overextension, and you mentioned what's a BKB Gyrocopter going to do. He'll do just that.
Wow, I mean, completely impressive damage output. I did not expect he would actually hurt quite a bit, but it seems like Ringo Aquila was just enough. But Yamate is going to come through. I think he's going to go for the kill, not on the Gyrocopter, which was a prize kill, but he know that if he stuns on the Gyrocopter, the Burrow Strike will come through, and he won't get anything in return. So went for the very, very safe Sanking kill. Yamate still showing his poise despite how that team fight went, and I think they will re-engage on this tier 1 tower. BKB is down, but that BKB timing came on perfectly, was able to allow them to win that team fight, but it was not really enough. I mean, they're so down by so much.
Yeah, there's a Mag RP en route, but he's not going to be there inside to defend this tier 1, but if they keep on pushing past, he'll be there. But it looks like DK gets the tier 1 tower, backs off, Tinker TP's out, and, well, haven't been able to use this blink from Pelosin just yet, and Rocket goes flying through. I think they scouted out. It flew over Pelosin's head, so they should have been able to click him and scout out that Blink Dagger. So right now, Zenith probably know there's a Blink Dagger up.
Yeah, and that Blink Dagger, especially on Pelosin, just really going to do a lot of work. Also, he's starting to get those crucial levels for Empower, and for a Gyrocopter who doesn't actually have necessarily any damaging item up just yet, he really needs every bit of help that he can get. So for now, farming on the bot lane, but he's got to... Oh, those ganks are coming in. Trying to rotate on the mid lane. Pelosin's got that blink, so he should be able to get out of harm's way very easily. Unfortunately, this guy does not. He does have that BKB, but can he even use it? No, I don't think he will. Yeah, he knows he's going to die, so he's not going to be running away. So, very, very good gank coming out from Zenith.
Yeah, they sacked their sons a bit, and it actually almost gave Gyrocopter a glimmer of hope there, but that last auto attack, right-click, sorry, just doing enough damage to finish him off. But Zenith now, can they transition to a bit of a push here? They've got 3 heroes near bottom. Tinker can always be TPing in. And Ice, what's he on about? He's going for that mech now. He's at top rune, looking for some top river, looking for some runes, but not finding a whole lot here. It looks like Zenith, for the most part, happy just to keep their farm up, not look to try put on too much pressure right now. They'll take the pickoffs where they can get them, but they're not going to force the issue.
Tinker with this Blink Dagger follow-up. Yeah, we did expect this kind of opening. The question is, where will he go from this? And to be honest, because of the big lead that they're enjoying right now, I feel like Dagon will be perfect, because look at the HP of that Shadow Demon, 720. Sand King, 910, which is actually pretty decent considering his start. Gyrocopter, 1300 because of the BKB. Maybe Dagon is not the best item of choice. Maybe Sev is a tiny bit better. But if whatever item he wants to go for, it's going to be both very, very good.
Yeah, it's damage output or it's some lockdown. It's going to be damaging, and we're going to see Zenith for the most part not looking to get too aggressive right now. They're farming in the enemy jungle here, so they are denying their opponents a lot, and it's going to be a Shadow Blade. Yamate quickly realizes that's potentially a dangerous position he's putting himself in. He's going to scout some things out here. Dax as well as Shadow Demon both on the low ground, but there's a lot of backup in the form of Sand King and the Blink Mag.
Ooh, and look at the Shadow Demon. He expected DK to be coming in as well, but XY... I mean, did they not see this ward that it was placed over there?
That's a dire ward in mid lane as well as on top of that hill. Those pickoffs shouldn't be happening. I think XY just got caught out a bit. I don't think he realized the Mag could see him. The Mag could see him with that ward, and the Blink Skewer set up that kill with ease. And possibly now, a tier 1 tower. This tier 1 mid is so important to get down when possible, but it looks like it may be a bit too hard right now for first departure.
Yeah, because there was the first observer dropping there, they should have seen the second ward being dropped. That's one of the advantage of playing support. If you put your wards down first, you know where they're going to put their wards if it's in the nearby vicinity. So, very, very nice pickoff, despite of the wards granting the vision. So Zenith losing a small bit here and there, but Gyrocopter is one of those heroes that he could go very, very late game. He's no Morphling, but on the same token, he's maybe even later than Morphling, considering that he could use Divine Rapier very, very well.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes that late game can just do so much with the right items. Divine Rapier, Manta, BKB, and you're pretty much set. Especially if you can get yourself the Aegis. But Zenith You're going to have that change size of lights coming out from a Tinker, though, so I feel like it's always going to be a risky little choice there. You've got the Lothar, the Shadow Blade initiation from a DK, and, well, Zenith, the last couple of minutes, things haven't really been going all their way. They've given away a kill or two, and now they're finding themselves sort of wandering around, not looking like they have as much of a set game plan in mind as they did 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're okay because they could still enjoy the farm in jungle because their lead, Yamate, is constantly farming the enemy jungle as well. So you're still out-farming them in the long run. Oh, Yamate. Lothar gets detected by those sentry wards down the mid lane, so very, very nicely done. These, like, miser sentries that are being placed in such random locations is stopping Yamate from doing what he wants to do with that Shadow Blade. Now has a BKB, which is going to mean he's a big teamfight force, especially when he's going to be looking for that level 16 in a couple of minutes, but for now, still looking for those individual pickoffs.
Yeah, maybe we look to see Zenith go into the Roshan pit fairly soon. They've got all the space in the world to do so if they want. All the tier 1 towers down there, maybe look to just focus efforts on tier 2s, and they got 4 rotating bottom lane. Tinker can TP in any time, so this should probably be a tier 2 tower at bottom, or at least force First Departure to make a big play defend. And First Departure, Darkseid and Mag, this is always going to be the big team fight. This is why we don't see Zenith looking to put too much effort into grouping up and pushing, because pushing into Mag Darkseid is going to always be scary. Sanking as well, great. Sanking and Gyrocopter, 2 other great team fight heroes. Sanking at this point not offering a whole lot because of how under-leveled he is, but Gyrocopter with a BKB can do a lot of follow-up damage.
Yeah, for the next 20 to 30 minutes, before everybody on the Dire gets BKB, if you get a 4-man RP, you just flat out lose that team fight, because 4-man RP equates to a wall on top, a vacuum on top, Burrow Strike, flat cannon, call down, everything in the book is going to be dropped on top of your face. So that RP is going to be exceptionally important. There was a big team fight item that was just picked up, Clockwork with the mech, so he's going to be on parity with Darkseid, who already has a mech for quite a bit, I want to say. And I guess because of the threat of that big team fight, Zenith can't really do too much. They can't really go for those tier 2 pushes, but that's fine for them because they're still farming multiple jungles at the same time.
A pretty big item picked up by Shadow Demon. He gets a gem for his team. So they've got the counter to the Shadow Blade from DK. They're also going to be able to maintain some map control here because Zenith, with a ton of aggressive wards all over the Radiant neutrals, the de-warding these, once it's safe, is going to be a key thing here for First Departure. So I like this pickup, but he needs to be careful because he can't use it just yet. It's going to be helpful in the team fight against the Shadow Blade, but he needs to make sure he doesn't lose it.
And he is a prime target to be focused. Very, very squishy. Looks like God's Strength is going to be used just to swing down this tower. The Radiant team could defend this. They could glyph and just, take a team fight right there, but looks like they just not a fight that they want to take, at least not right there. They want Gyrocopter to get some farm, and basically they threw away a tier 2 tower to buy a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think it's an alright decision. It's definitely, it's always the riskier choice. If they go for that team fight and things don't go according to plan, the RP only hits 2 or 3 and then there's a turnaround from a Tinker. Fighting into level 4 Martin machines at this point is so difficult. You have to burst down that Tinker fast, so I think it's a slightly safer option. And right now, the safer option is going to be the way to play it if you're as far behind as First Departure are.
Yeah, there is an Invis up here on Magnus, and they saw the DK teleporting in. I mean, we saw him from game number 1. He has no problem using these solo RP for kills. And with the Gyrocopter right next to him, he probably could have got the kill, but definitely respecting those TPs coming from the tier 2 tower. They want Clockwork mid, but is Clockwork a hero that you really want to kill? And even if you get that kill on Clockwork, what does it even mean? Especially with him getting the mech already finished.
Yeah, and we've seen how much trouble they've had trying to kill this Clockwork with the cogs just being a general nuisance here. I think they're not going to try their luck. And, well, it's a smoke up from Zenith. They've got 3 heroes smoked, rotating towards the enemy neutrals, maybe just into the Roshan pit.
Yeah, I think the Roshan pit's going to be fine. They really will lack the damage output, but look at the Reaver already up on DK.
Well, my mic is absolutely fine in Dota TV. For those of you guys having problems, you just have to reselect the commentators.
Okay.
That's what people in chat are saying. Lots of people it's working for.
So, standard BTS things, when you blame them, they blame you back.
It's Dota 2, man.
It's Dota 2. It's a feature. It's not a bug. Zenith is gonna get this snipe up here, working on the Roshan, and DK. Well, actually, does DK even need to pick that one up? I think you might give it to Tinker. No, DK very, very happily sells bottle to pick that one up, and look at his frontline tank. 2000 HP, Shadow Blade movement speed, as well as magical immunity, and an Aegis on top. And of course, there's a very awkward arcane boost. I've never seen this kind of item combination on a particular hero. And Yamate, well, he's on top of this one.
It just looks so out of place in DK's item. It's just like, what are these blue boots on a DK? Like,
are those intrits?
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're not intrets.
Like, it's kind of like when I first, like, even arcane boots on the Mirana that we saw the other day with Mushi was slightly less out of place, but DK, it just seems completely.
But
Like,
it makes sense, right? He chews through mana a lot, very,
Yeah.
very quickly, so it's fine.
yeah, it seems to be working well so far for Yamate and Zenith in general. They've got the tier 2 bottom, they get Roshan, and they can start looking to pressure this tier 2 at mid. And with Yamate going this tanky, he's got Aegis, and he's also going to have, well, the Reaver up and probably building towards a harder Trash. He can just sit in the front lines, chipping away at towers, and for first departure, going in on a tanky hero like DK is just not really an option.
I think one thing that the Zenith team is waiting for now is level 16 Dragon Knight because he's a different hero. But no, looks like Miracle decided that the Radiant team would have backed off. Are we going to see a hook shot coming in? A lot of damage being chipped away on Gyrocopter, who does have that BKB finish. I think he should also, the next thing he do is before he picks up a big item, starts ditching this Tranquil Boots. You cannot suddenly lose a lot of movement speed in a team fight, especially when you need to chase with things like Rocket Barrage and Flat Cannon. So look towards him in terms of switching treads. But for now, DK should be looking for level 16. But seems like they're fine slow sieging right now, even before level 16.
Yeah, with or without, I think they're pretty confident here. They've got the Aegis now in Yamate. He's just in the front lines, chipping away. Tinker layering layer after layer of marching machines, making it so hard for First Departure to fight into this. And it's going to take a really big... I mean, Mag's the only real initiator. You haven't got the potential... Darkseid can maybe run on in, but it's just so risky to do something like that.
Do you think this is one of those games for a Darkseer to get a very, very early Blink Dagger to become that secondary initiator? Because your team is so reliant on that vacuum or RP combo that having a vacuum into a Blink Burrow Strike could be pretty good as well.
I think Blink Dagger is essential in Darkseid. He's going to go finish off the pipe first, it looks like, gets his headdress, but I would have almost suggested Blink Dagger before this pipe because there's so much relying on the mag, and all Zenith have to do is position themselves around the fact there's a mag ulti, which they're doing. DK's always in the front lines, maybe Tinker nearby with the March spam, but Tinker's only there for a second, spams March and blinks out, so there's never an opening to hit more than 1 or 2 heroes with a mag RP.
Ooh, looks like Invis DK runs in and will dispel the smoke. Here comes the 16 Dragon Knight, but they all blink out. The hook shot, well, here's an assist here. They're going to focus on Hannah, but Hannah so very tank. Gyrocopter is their target. Can you get close enough for that mech? No mech just yet. Dude, 850 range on the mech. You gotta save your carry. No, he gets forced that back out, and he just dies to the Clockwork. There's a skewer going the other side, but the Clockwork cogs should cool down in just a couple of seconds. A huge kind of disadvantage. Oh, he does nice blink back out. Sand King is going to rescue the rest of the team by getting a Burrow Strike. But the damage has been done. Hannah's dead, as well as the Clockwork being dead after using his BKB. Zenith coming in from multiple sides. And of course, the Shadow Blade doing a lot of work for that initiation for there.
Yeah, big initiation and also providing some needed DPS for Yamate, especially when you're trying to bring down a Gyrocopter who's in that BKB form. They get the T2 tower after the fight. They're swinging top to go for that last outer remaining tower. And defending this is just not really an option. Even with the RP online, Gyrocopter's still on the sidelines for another 20 seconds, as is Darkseer. There's just no way that First Departure can take a team fight at this point, it seems.
I mean, Zenith showing off the fact that they're the team with the pennants. Right here, 187 viewers watching them. And they're definitely looking very, very poised to take this particular game. They're out-farming the enemy team by quite a bit, 10,000 gold to be exact. And the heart is finished on Dragon Knight. How do you actually kill this Dragon Knight right now? You could drop the entire combo on him, and he doesn't really care. You could shrug it off.
Yeah, there's no DPS in the world that's going to kill him. Unless you isolate him and you've got 4 or 5 heroes there, you're not killing him. But he's got Aegis. He's always going to have that backup when he's pushing, and he just goes front lines, tanks it up, chips away, and I think Zenith can even start looking to siege high ground here. They've got the Scythe Vice on Tinker now. Also got an extra Staff of Wizardry. So imagine we'll see the Dagger Nat from XY. He's got the Scythe Vice, and now he starts working on the Dagger. Just having that burst damage is the way to basically just completely cripple and, well, destroy First Departure here as we're already so far behind.
Yeah, for those that haven't really experimented playing with Dagon, it always looks like a very, very bad item on paper, but for Tinker, because of his rearm ability and his mobility through the Blink Dagger, it's actually pretty insane. I mean, 800 damage burst nuke at Dagon level 5, and use it, what, 3 or 4 times in a single team fight? That's ultimate worthy in terms of damage output, so a very, very powerful, even late game item choice on Tinker.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and we'll see him farming more Ancients, farming more bottom. Aegis is going to be expiring fairly soon, so if Zenith want to go with the Aegis, they need to do so soon, but I think with or without Aegis, this DK is near unkillable.
I mean, his natural armor is his Aegis, so don't even worry about it. You can just charge in and tank it out with this 2700 HP. There's a Dragon Form, and teamfight will be breaking up very soon. Let's see if we're going to have at least one great teamfight. Again, RP is what they need, but the thing is, skewer backwards. Here comes the 3 or 4 man focus. Purge on top. Look at Magnus just dropping. There's a call down being down on top, and here we go. DK will man fight against the gyrocopter. Both carries BKB up, but one is running away. Yamate now will turn back on the tower, but he looks like he's going to run back. Somehow, it seems like they were able to defend against that. At least for now.
That was impressive. I love what Tinker was doing there. He was sitting in the trees on the left. He blinked so far down. He was past the Raxes in the trees on the left, just spamming march, spamming rockets, and, well, First Departure just couldn't really do a whole lot to him, but luckily his harass and spam wasn't doing a whole lot. I think the big issue with Zenith is they can get Tinkering spamming spells, they can get DK kind of on the front lines, but DK doesn't really kill heroes on his own, and, well, the Rubik, that Sven, they're kind of stuck sort of sitting back, maybe chipping away at the tower. They can't actually get into the fight, but there's no real way Zenith lose the fight, it's just they're not winning these fights.
I mean, DK was quite quickly killing Magnus on his own, and if he was having a little bit more time, he could probably kill 2 or 3 more, but yeah, this team is built around with DK in the front, and basically have a lot of backup damage from Clockwork and Tinker as well, and, well, I mean, they're going to have another push available. Wall is not up for 30 seconds. I imagine it will be up for the next big engagement, though.
Yeah, well, if they should be able to stall things just long enough here. They can just keep on spamming. The last fight went really well for them, and no more Aegis on the DK. He will be going for the Assault Crest just to help give that aura to keep on pushing, and I like these pings in the trees on the left. It's like, that's where Tinker keeps on going, but right now Tinker's at mid. He's got his dag on level 1, and, well, he'll be looking to rejoin his team fairly soon.
One thing to talk about is Clockwork's item choice is Blade Mail. Blade Mail is one of the actual best counters, especially against Gyrocopter, who does a ton of damage and does not necessarily have a ton of HP to actually back it up. Now, BKB will actually block the Blade Mail redirect, so if Ice is careful enough, he shouldn't pop that Blade Mail till much later. Also, Blade Mail very, very good against Wombo combo lineup because it's so tempting to drop all your spells at once, which Blade Mail will gladly redirect.
Well, high ground it is for Zen. They get the tier 3 tower just with Yamate chipping away. Now he starts chipping away on the Raxes, and look at his positioning. Ice actually invis. There is a gem up though. Needs to be careful, and there's a big vacuum wall there. How can you get the Dragon form? Unfortunately, the Dragon instantly dies. Yamate kills off his own illusion, backs off, even pops a BKB. They're going to walk right out of here. They're playing really safe and defensive, Zenith, but I mean, they may as well not take too many chances, especially up against a Mag Blink RP.
I think they defended a second time here with the Dragon form starting to whittle down in terms of time and BKB down. DK can't walk in. I mean, he's very, very tank, but he's not going to be able to tank 5 heroes without magical immunity. So, seems like FD can hold it one more time, and that's more and more time in the world for Gyrocopter to start farming it up. 3.5k gold in the bank. I mean, we talked about the possibility of Divine Rapier, and yes, to be sure, it's a bad item in this case because you're dealing with Blink Scythe, you're dealing with the long-range initiation, but push comes to shove, he might just need to go Divine to start carrying his team.
Yeah, I think he's almost, at this point, he's almost got to. It's only one thing. I mean, that's the miracle they need, no pun intended. But the issue is, sure, it's buying more time for Gyrocopter to farm, but during that time, it's actually Zenith getting further and further ahead.
Yeah, they're farming both jungles, Tinkers all over the map.
I mean, every hold is not really a First Departure getting any closer to evening up this game. They're actually falling further behind even though they're holding. You've got more item progression. And the next push is going to come with an Assault Crest on DK and probably an Aegis. Roshan respawning in about 1 minute, so sure they held that push, but the next push is going to be even harder to push. And if the next push doesn't work, well, the push after that's going to get even harder because we'll keep seeing the item progression coming out of Zenith. And for First Departure, that same item progression just doesn't exist. You've got Darkseid with Mech and Pike, but he's pretty much done. Mag, same thing. Blink, Force Up, there's no real progression from here. Gyrocopter's the one hero who's going to have item progression, but for Zenith, they've got 4 or 5 heroes getting bigger and bigger. And
the reason that Gyrocopter and his team is never really getting further and further ahead is that these holds never actually turn out in a team fight, right? Zenith is so good at positioning that they just send the DK in, they play it so safe, they never commit more than 2 heroes in a team fight, so even if you kill 1 or 2 heroes, it's not going to be a big comeback. Conversely, if a big team fight breaks out, and let's say the Radiant team gets off their entire combo off, and suddenly the Dire loses 5 heroes, that will give tier 1 towers up on the Radiant team, that will give possibly the Roshan to the Radiant team, and that's where really the big pile of gold comes in. So, because Zenith never overcommits, they never get into that issue, and Zenith will slowly grind them out, like God talks about. They're still farming better, they're leading, this gold chart is never swinging back the way that Zenith is playing right now.
It's not even flattening out right now, and well, it's going to keep getting worse and worse as Zenith are going to get themselves an Aegis. The Assault Crest is there in DK, so another Roshan being picked up by Zenith. They've got Tinker continuing farm. Are we close to the Dagon 5? He's actually only got the Dagon level 1 still, but he's got 3k gold on top of that, so I imagine more points in the Dagon here. You may as well go Dagon 5 once you start. I don't see the reason to stay on Dagon 1 as a late game Tinker.
Maybe he's definitely saving for buyback to rejoin the fight.
Yeah, I agree. Having a buyback here so he can just sort of, even if he's just suiciding for a kill at this point, going in, kill off the mag or someone, having that buyback just for this game-ending push could be a nice little thing to have.
Yeah, but he definitely could upgrade it at least twice, if that's what he wants. Looks like a little bit of split pushing from Gyrocopter. And one thing that he can be doing, there's a Demon Edge. He could definitely go for the Monkey King bar if that's what he wants. But there's always a possibility that Divine's only 500 off.
I think Divine's a perfectly legitimate item, and when they're this far behind, you need something big and game deciding, and Divine Rapier's got to be it. I think going for an MKB isn't going to be enough, and I think the one thing he can't do is save for buyback. If he's going for MKB, buy it now. There's no point saving for buyback when you're up against a potentially game-ending push. You've just got to be. So buy your MKB or buy your Divine Rapier. You can't save for buyback.
And I don't think getting MKB is the way to win this game either, because again, you're defending to not lose, but you're not making any headways to win the game. So, well, we'll see exactly what he's going to be going for. Nothing purchased just yet. Maybe they're going to try to hold just with the Demon Edge, which could be quite hard. I love it. Vacuum to break the trees. No more shenanigans on the left. Yamate comes up. There is Glyph available on the Radiant side. Tinker starts to deploy a couple of layers of March. And Yamate says, alright, if you don't fight me, your Raxus are going to go down eventually.
Vacuum's still on cooldown for another 3 seconds. It's the right idea to kill those trees, but vacuum timing not ideal. But Yamate, he keeps working on the Rax, and the rest of Zenith just seen behind him. Even with that, oh, the Rax Gem was there for a second. It's back again. Purgex being dropped in. Forces the Shadow Blade out. The problem is, even if he wants a Divine Rapier right now, there's no opening to go get it. He can't send the courier up. He can't actually buy it. I think if he could choose, he'd have that Divine Rapier, but he just can't go out to the shop.
Ooh, skewer attempt here from Paulison trying to get somebody going in the base here. And that's the beauty of having a Heart and the way that Zenith is playing right now. He sent DK in, he's going to soak up a little bit of damage, but between Heart as well as his Dragon Blood regen, like, you're never really going to burst him down enough to slow down the push. He comes back at the next wave, full HP, like the final boss that Yamate is, and slowly they're going to whittle down. The Rax is going to go down to the siege unit. They can't, Rax goes down, and I think Zenith could just back up right now. Just play it very, very safe. Clockwork initiation on Shadow Demon. Self-disrupt. The team fight is going to break out. Where's the Vacuum? Vacuum still on cooldown, and SC is going to go down. Those cogs, they be pushing your side, man.
Now, Gem on the ground. Gyrocopter's actually going for a Daedalus, but he's getting chain sheeped here. There is going to be a mag skewer. Finds the Tinker. Not going to use an RP just on him, and now Gyrocopter's going to turn it around with that Daedalus. He's doing a lot of damage. He brings down Tinker. Tinker, immediate buyback.
That's what he was saving to go for.
Like you said, but he had just enough gold for the buyback, and well, Zenith aren't done. They get the top Raxes, and now the siege is going to begin on mid. I like Gyrocopter the fact he's bought this item. He's almost good enough for buyback as well on top of it. He's just a couple hundred gold short, 300 gold short, but he'll probably get that before he dies, unless he gets sheeped immediately and picked off. But if he kills some creeps or gets a hero kill before he goes down, he will have a buyback gold as well here.
Yeah, I feel like Daedalus is definitely a mini Divine of sorts here. It's not going to be the guaranteed damage, but you get pretty lucky, and suddenly it's Divine damage-esque damage output. So, again, this is a very safe item. Obviously, when you die, you don't drop it, so still goodbye. Oh, skewer backwards. No. AC is going to turn around, fight. There's a Scythe right on Paulson, but defensive disruption. He could actually get a huge RP coming back out, but look at DK, the only person on the front line. Even if they get that kill, it's going to be a solo kill. But can they even get that kill, though? They're trying to chase. He Lothar's back out, and guess what? He's going to come back full HP. The way that Zenith is playing, he survived with 50 HP. The way that Zenith is playing, it is so safe. It is so safe. There's just no avenue of comeback here for the Radiant team.
Yeah, he's still got this Aegis for a couple more minutes, and, well, he's going to get to work on this tier 3 bottom tower. It's the same formation. Send DK to the front lines to chip away at the tower. He doesn't even have to worry about going down when he's got the Aegis, and then just have 3-4 heroes sitting behind him. Tinker can even go split pushing, help push out these other lanes, but he's going to be bottom, looking to start spamming rockets and just chip away. So by the time first departure decide, hey, we got to do something and engage, they're already maybe down to about 2/3, 3/4 HP from all this rocket and march spam.
Of course, Ice is... Oh, Blink Skewer. I think these Blink Skewers are very key. Looks like they want to focus on the Magnus. Magnus gets 4-stat back. Wall. Calldown gets route on the front of the base. They are going to get 1 kill. And looks like right now Gyrocopter's going to work. DK, will he survive a second time? Looks like he will. But look at the crit damage here on Ice. He's on the run. He's got the Blink. He should be fine. DK, he's waiting. But the rocket will hit. They have True Sight. They will... Oh, what?
That DK, maybe.
What a tactical pause.
Yeah, I almost said something very, very, very inappropriate. But yeah, what a unopportune time for a pause. Something which should not be going down, but...
Well, one thing's going to be going down. We're using Puppy's tactical...
I was about to say, Eyesight Sights will say it for me.
Is that what you want to say, the tactical pause?
I didn't want to discredit a professional player who...
Well, let the pros discredit themselves as DK gonna get focused. They're gonna bring him down very quickly. He does have the Aegis. Stormhammer will hit on 2. Blink, RP! But is there gonna be any follow-up? Is it gonna be a skewer? No, they're gonna get 1 kill regardless. And look at how low. Oh, Gyrocopter is gonna barely survive. The Martian Machine. Oh, the Martian Machine will go through BKB if that's what you're thinking about. And they do bring him down. The question is, does he have the buyout? He definitely does have the goal, but he's trying to save for it. Miracle in game number 1. He was so stingy on those buyback. And let's see if he has the time and space to be stingy about it, because you got to keep in mind that Top is pushing him back in. He recognized he doesn't have it. That's going to force DK back. But that team fight went a lot better for the Radiant team, as I mentioned. Again, the Dire team forced to commit. I was very surprised that Ice hooked in. And that was the cue for the Radiant to drop to go, and they were very, very happy to drop their AoE spells on 3 or 4 heroes at the same time.
Yeah, first departure, hanging on by the skin of their teeth, and for the first time in this game, we see the gold graph, the XP graph, start to dip upwards, start to sort of lean in the way of.
It's 20,000 though. It's 20,000.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, but it's the first good sign for first departure that they can actually win a fight. They force out buybacks, they kill off Tinker twice, and it's on the back of the Gyrocopter with a lot of fun. The problem is going to be his BKB getting shorter and shorter, and if Zenith want, they can wait for the next Roshan, get the Aegis as well as Cheese, and then it gets even harder. I
think BKB charge matters for Gyrocopter a lot less as a carry hero than for other carry heroes, because I feel like his Flat Cannon, the damage is decided so quickly anyways. You only have 6 shots, so I think that's enough. 5 seconds definitely enough time for magical immunity to dish out your 6 shots, especially if you're going for things like Divine, which he is not. He's going for lifesteal, which is a fair choice. He's dealing enough damage to really justify that lifesteal. And of course, last team fight, he was basically in the front line for long enough. He really just needed lifesteal to outlast that Dragon Knight. And I think Yamate might be getting a stage where he perhaps is getting out carried.
Yeah, Yamate is pure carry, not a whole lot of actual pure DPS. And if Miracle can get... I don't think he even needs the full Satanic. If he really wants, he can go back for the Divine Rapier now if he wants to go completely bonkers. But it's definitely a possibility. Just not finish the full Satanic. You just need the raw Lifesteal from the Helm of the Dominator. Also a good item for the plus armor, for the plus damage. And, well, Zenith, they've got to start making sure that they play this as smoothly as possible, because there's definitely potential for a turnaround.
Also, couple key item pickups here. X-Freedom picking up a Gold Scepter. And I do really think the Force Staff on Ice should be a Gold Scepter as well. Gyrocopter's damage output is insane because the range is so big, you can't really even kite around that carry hero. One of the reasons why he's basically one of the highest picked heroes on the Dire team, or excuse me, on the European scene. But looks like Zenith is going to try this one more time. They won't have the Roshan, and to be honest, I think they maybe should just wait for that extra 2.5 minutes for that Aegis and come back later.
I agree. This is very high risk for them. It definitely, they've got such a big item lead that it could work out fine for them, and then we'll be like, oh, well, Zenith is so far ahead, of course this push will work, but there's potential for things to go horribly wrong. If Mag gets a big blink RP, or if he just blink skewers. He's been looking for those blink skewers time and time again, and I think it's the right way to play. Look for that single target pick-off, and if you get it, well, the fight goes really well for you. So Zenith pushing right now is going to be a very risky play.
Gyrocopter going up back top, constantly saving with those buyback, because I think those buyback alone will be able to defend. Unfortunately, though, the buyback is still on cooldown from the previous engagement for at least 2 more minutes. So he actually might as well spend some gold, and I think Demon Edge is the perfect item to really slot himself with right now.
Yeah, well, we'll see DK going for the MKB. Unless MKB picked up now, completed.
How are they getting this uphill vision?
Have they got it? They've actually got... The Dire team have one further back, but they haven't got one. I guess Rocket Spam?
Oh yeah, Rocket Spam. There you go. Rocket Spam into more Rocket Spam. Very, very annoying to deal with. You can see that Sand King as well as the Magnus smoked up. He's going to look for some... Oh, Skewer Force Staff! But he gets psyched up and they can't... Oh my god! He just got burst down. That's the power of Dagon for you. There's a buyback of Magnus, so they will have to disengage. But Dagon a second time.
That was costly. That was, even if Zenith don't get Raxus here, that was well worth it. They got 2 big pickoffs on Mag and Darkseer. These 2 heroes both have to be alive to defend, and with those buybacks, I think Zenith can back off. Or maybe they just look to take this fight, because they've got buybacks of themselves, and Mag and Darkseer have got to land some big ultis now.
Oh, looks like Gyrocopter's in front. Flat Cannon down for about 15 seconds or so. And oh, Blink! Oh no, that's not a 5-man RP. They only get 1 back, but that's a blame out. Dagon on top of Gyro. He's forced to go back. Epicenter gets dropped, but BKB blocks most of it. And in between this regen time, I think they are going to take that Rex. There is a glyph that's going to buy a little bit of time, but that Dagon, I think the Dagon's really what's carrying Zenith right now. The damage output and the repetitive damage output is absolutely insane.
It's what's doing. At this point, Yamate, his main offer in these fights is his stun. He stunned the Darkseer, and he was the reason they killed the Darkseer twice that fight. Darkseer got off a really bad wall vacuum, and it wasn't from Yamate's damage, it was just a stun. The DPS is coming from the Tinker Dagon 5 refresh, and well, they get a second set of Raxes, and they're going to play this smoothly and just safe. They're going to go for Roshan. At least they're pinging Roshan. They don't want to go mid just yet. And when this is a G1 Champions League spot on the line, advancing to the next round, if you lose this, you're knocked out. Well, not for Zenith. It is a best of 3 game 2. They've got to lose 2 games in a row. But for Zenith, if they secure this win, they advance to the next round. And it's a big, big deal for them. So they want to go for Roshan, play this as safe as possible.
Yep. And, I mean, they've been playing very, very safe so far. They had a tiny slip-up, I want to say, which gave the Radiant team the ray of hope. But right now, there is just no time for Gyrocopter. I almost say you just somehow find that last bit of gold and go for the Divine, but there's just no time given right now. Of course, the Creep Wave that's getting farmed, giving them gold, yeah, it doesn't give any gold, so maybe do you just say, let's sell the Helm and just go big or go home? Because the rate that things are going, they're going home.
Yeah, I think he needs... I think you need to keep the Helm if you're Gyrocopter. I think you sell the TP Scroll and get the Divine Rapier.
Well, he's short on gold. TP Scroll don't sell for like $1 billion.
Yeah, Helm won't be enough either. There's your... Oh, he goes Reaver. Okay. Satanic. It's...
Well,
I don't know.
He's not going big.
He's not going big. He's not going big enough. I think this is a Divine Rapier situation. Even if you... The thing is... Sure, you're a lot harder to kill in these fights, but Zenith can just whittle away at your base. They can just chip at your bases, chip at your tier 4 towers, chip at your mid tier 3, chip at your axes, and just win the game like that. The only way you can prevent them doing that chip damage is having that big Divine Rapier. He goes Satanic, though. He's got no buyback, so he is at least manning up and not saving for buyback, which is, at this point, essential, but I feel Satanic was not the... well, I mean, I say that Divine Rapier would turn this game around, but I feel Satanic is just kind of throwing in the towel almost.
I mean, Satanic is going to make your Divine Rapier better later. It's just that I'm not sure how much time they will actually have to work with, and it depends on Zenith. If Zenith plays it ultra safe and do that slow chip damage, I mean, Gyrocopter is going to farm basically every single wave that's going to be going to base with Flat Cannon, so I mean, feasibly he could actually get enough time to get there.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll see if we can get another item up on him. But for now, Zenith, they're ready to siege again. Vlad's up on the Sven. This is your, I mean, utility Sven. Yeah. Vlad strums. He's got the auras and
your armor
Sven.
Sven.
That war cry.
And actually, that's actually slowing down a lot of Gyrocopter's killing power. The reason that he's not able to kill quite a bit, and I kind of talked about it during the draft days, plus 16 armor, and of course with the Vlads on top, plus 21 armor in a huge AoE.
It's really limiting what he can do, and that's why you need that just pure damage from a Divine Rapier. But once again, high ground, it's DK. He's got the tier 3, and now he goes into the Raxes. They've just got to go. Darkseid's just going to go get a wall of Replica Illusion of the DK. Even if you only catch the DK, you're going to do something. But there's a Clockwork Hookshot. They found Shadow Demon right off the bat. Darkseid get caught out as well. He's not even going to get up his wall of Replica. The Mag RP comes too late. Tinker's here with some Dagon 5 action. And they just melt. First departure. One by one, they all fall down. Lubby with a heroic attempt for an epicenter, but it's not going to be enough.
Too safe on FD. Should have been a Divine a long time ago. Didn't go for it. Not necessarily to say that if they'd gone Divine, they would have won, but it's the best chance, in my opinion, to win the game.
I mean, you get the Divine. It doesn't change the fact you're behind by 15k gold, but it's that all-in option that at least gives you a chance. You're at least taking the gamble and putting yourselves in there with a fighting chance. It could go horribly wrong and you instantly lose the Divine Rapier and lose the game right away, but it gives you
were losing the game regardless.
Yeah, and going for the Daedalus into Satanic, it just stalled the game out, but it didn't really change the inevitable. Zenith were always going to win with that item build. It was just a matter of time. They managed to stall the game to 50 minutes, whereas if you get that Divine Rapier, maybe the game ends in 35 because you lose it, but at least you sort of went for that big all-in option, but they don't go for it. First departure, unfortunately, they get 2-0 defeated here in the G1 League qualifiers, and Zenith, they're going to advance to the next round where they await the winner of our next match, which is Tongfu versus Neolution Thailand.
And that's going to come up in about 90 minutes of time. And again, just to conclude, a message I want to quote from Eternal of Envy. It doesn't matter how you lose. If you lose by 100 kills or if you lose by 2,000 gold, it doesn't matter. If you lose, you lose. So sometimes you got to just go big and, you know, eke out those 5% wins. But for now, FD will be dropped out of the G1 League qualifiers. Zenith will move on, and they will be playing the winner of Tongfu versus Neolution Thai. Yeah, and that's going to be coming up in just a bit. So, hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 series. We'll be back in just a bit. This is a Beyond the Summit broadcast. I am Lumis, and joining me alongside was God. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will be back in a bit.